What's up, guys? Max Scoville here for Destructoid, and welcome to the first ever episode of Tuesday Newsdays, which is what we're calling it when I do the thing that I used to do on Thursdays, where I told you about recent video game news, except we're doing it on Tuesdays now, because Tuesday rhymes with Newsday. Journalism, everybody. If you missed it, this weekend was PAX East back in Boston, and Destructoid was there doing some stuff, paying attention to some things, and learning about some new games that are going to be coming out sometime in the future. If you haven't been paying attention, a whole bunch of videos are going up on this very channel, courtesy of Mr. Jonathan Holmes, who was there, and he was going around with a microphone going, "Hey, I'm Jonathan Holmes, I have a hoodie on. Will you tell me about your game?" That's how Jonathan Holmes interviews people. In addition to Jonathan Holmes covering games and talking to people about them, a whole bunch of other Destructoid writers were there talking to people about their games. And I decided to go through the big list of games that got checked out and just grab a few of them that sounded interesting to me and tell you guys about them, starting with Cult of the Wind. And I love this because it is a third-person shooter type of game, except everybody is pretending they're an airplane. It's just a bunch of people running around like... Pew, 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 pew. And I don't really know a whole lot about it other than that. We got this gameplay you can look at. Apparently, there is actually signs of damage when the players collide with each other. There's animations, there's sound effects. You will see numbers flying off to indicate that they have gotten damaged in their airplane dogfighting. But it just looks like a really kind of strange game. And I'm not typically one who likes to pay attention to third-person shooters because who are we kidding? It's 2014. We've seen a lot of them. Next up is a game that I actually got to check out back at GDC a few months ago. It's called Grave, and it's kind of a survival horror game that's set in a very surreal landscape, kind of this isolated desert environment. And the whole deal is there's a really fast day and night cycle. And every time the sun goes down, spooky shit comes out and starts breathing heavy, and it's real scary. And then when the sun comes up again, the whole landscape has rearranged. So you're constantly sort of like, what's happening? This is upsetting and strange. I was very fond of it, though I wasn't so fond of having the Oculus Rift on my face while I was playing it. As you might expect, this is Oculus Rift compatible. However, it is also going to be coming to Xbox One, which is their news coming out of PAX. They've got a Kickstarter up for that right now if you want to go take a look at that. I don't usually plug Kickstarters, but the guys who made the game were very friendly. Nepotism, everybody. Next up, there's Rain World, which is a game where you play as a slug-cat, I think? That's sort of it. You're a cat that's a slug, and you kind of got to flop around and squish through holes and dangle off of stuff, and you're sort of sticky, and the whole idea is that cats kind of squish through things. And you're in this world, presumably this rain world, and it is rainy, and also there's things that are trying to kill you, so you have to get away from them, but you also have to eat other stuff, because... I don't know, it's a video game. But this one looks very nice. The good news is this is going to be published by Adult Swim Games, and it is going to be coming to PSN and Vita, so get yourself excited for the slug cats for that one. I could say something about cats getting wet, but I won't, because this is a family place. Next, this is one I actually almost covered on Friday, because we actually had the trailer sitting on this very YouTube channel, but it was unlisted because it was embargoed. Shh. But this is the latest from Drinkbox Games. It's called Severed. And it is a touch-based game where you are someone who got their hand cut off and you have to go around and cut body parts off of your enemies and then take their body parts and attach them to you so you get new abilities. They've kind of compared it to Infinity Blade crossed with Mega Man crossed with Punch-Out. And the whole idea is, you're fighting these different bosses who have obviously different abilities and so forth, but the order in which you fight them is totally non-linear, kind of a la the Robot Masters in Mega Man. Like you don't just kind of go from one to the next. You can kind of pick and choose. And there's actually going to be some backtracking and kind of exploring new areas. Obviously, this is a touch-based game, so presumably it's going to be coming to mobile devices. But I think the obvious thing that everyone has their fingers crossed for is PlayStation Vita, because these guys have done so well with When Mutant Blobs Attack and Guacamelee on that beautiful handheld by Sony. We might also see it on 3DS though, but the guys at Drinkbox are being very kind of tight-lipped about that. But if nothing else, this is a really pretty trailer, and I highly recommend everyone go watch it in its entirety. So really, that's just actually a small cross-section of the many indie games and the weird fun things that people saw at PAX East, and you can go to Destructoid.com and check out the whole lineup right there. I think there's a thing you can click on that says PAX East, and it will pull up all the stories related to that particular event. Or you can check out this very channel. We've actually got a playlist. I'll put an annotation right here. You can click this fella right here, and it'll take you to a big old playlist full of all of Jonathan Holmes' PAX East coverage, where he's going, "Hi, Jonathan Holmes here, look at my hoodie." Just go watch some videos, please. Artsy indie stuff wasn't the only news coming out of PAX East this year, and there was some big AAA announcements that I will now relate to you, fine viewers. Starting with Civilization Beyond Earth. This is the new game from Firaxis, the guys who make the Civilization series, and the brilliant man Sid Meier, who I believe was involved with Alpha Centauri Beyond Earth. Was that the name of the game? In any case, they don't have the rights to Alpha Centauri, but this looks like it's going to be kind of a spiritual successor to this game where you are in space and you make things happen in space. That's going to be coming out this fall for PC and Mac and Linux, and it looks pretty cool. I've never actually gotten into Civilization 5 myself, but my old producer, Mr. Zach Miner over at Revision 3, was really, really into Civilization. He got crazy for Civilization. He got uncivilized about it. And kind of sitting next to him and watching him gush over weird expansion packs eventually captured my attention. So maybe I'll actually check this one out. Or maybe I'll check out Civ 5. Who knows? The folks at Respawn gave a panel about Titanfall and how great it is and how happy they are that everyone is playing it. And they talked about the new DLC that's going to be coming out in May. It's called Expedition, and it brings a bunch of new maps. You've got Swampland, which has some alien ruins. We got sort of an image of this one. There's trees, which you can now do your little wall running on, but it's not like walls, it's like trees, so it's a little bit less linear and has some interesting new... You can jump up on trees with your stupid jetpack thing, okay? Then, of course, there's Runoff, which has pipes, which you can also run on, and Water, which you probably can't run on. And then there's War Games, which is set in the training sim, so it all looks like Tron, which is kind of funny that I guess you can't call it Tron because it's a different 80s movie. Anyway, that DLC is going to cost money, but they're also going to be rolling out more and more kind of free additions and changes, kind of, you know, bug fixes, and I think they recently unveiled private matches. They're going to be adding, presumably, a HUD-free spectator mode. I think they're playing with that. Also the possibility of a hashtag system where if you're trying to organize a match with other people, you can just do, you know, hashtag Destructoid, or, you know, hashtag vegan, or hashtag Young Republicans, or whatever, and then other people who are kind of going after that same type of demographic can all get together and get in your robots and shoot each other. Titanfall. 2K Games is also at PAX, and they were showing off Evolve, which they had some people playing, but they were only playing the hunter side of things. One piece of info to come out of this, I played Evolve at a press demo a while back, and the whole thing is, you know, you can either play as the big monster, and you go around and you evolve, as the name would suggest, or you play as one of the hunters and they just have guns and they shoot the monster. When I played it, the monster was kind of upgrading kind of one evolution at a time, and it was sort of automated, very kind of linear path. They've kind of added a skill tree now, and so now every time the monster kind of reaches a new evolution stage, they'll have you know, 3 points to assign separately, so you can basically choose how your monster will be growing. So, not sure how that's going to actually affect gameplay. Apparently, only the hunters were playable at PAX, so no one really got a sense of what that's doing, but it's cool to see that they are making kind of changes this late and really, you know, tweaking it as it goes along, letting people actually play it out in the wild. Of all the games shown off at PAX East, I think the one I'm most excited about, however, is Capy Games Below, which is the fantasy roguelike game that we really don't know a whole lot about up until now. Brett Makadonsky got to play it for Destructoid. He has a big write-up over on the site if you want to go read that, but I'll give you a few bullet points. Basically, the game is totally stripped down. There's no you know, HUD, there's no dialogue, there's no cues. It's all very kind of like figure it out for yourself. You're dumped on this island, you're a little man with a sword, and you've got to creep around and kind of explore this island. And the idea, it is procedurally generated, so the island is always different, and the things you find might not be there the next time you go there, and you probably will have to go there again, because the thing is, you've got one hit point. You get killed, or you get hit by an enemy, you start bleeding, and unless you either cauterize the wound at a campfire, or take a potion, or whatever, you basically have to, you know, kind of come back as your descendant, solve the death of your ancestors. So if you played Rogue Legacy, it's got a little bit of that in there. Sounds like there's some spelunky. Apparently the gameplay itself is definitely on the hardcore side of things, and Brett likened it to Demon Souls, Dark Souls, that whole type of thing. Most importantly, good lord, this game looks pretty. I really want to play this game. It looks just beautiful. It looks like a much more detailed version of Sword and Sorcery, so if you are like me, then keep an eye on this one. And if you don't have an Xbox One, you might want to relax, because apparently this is only a timed exclusive for Xbox One. I know that we kind of saw this announced back at E3 on Microsoft's presser thing, and I was worried that I was going to have to pay $500 to explore the depths below. But yeah, there you go. Other things coming to Xbox One. The Behemoth has a new game. It's called Game 4 currently. What do we know about it? Well, it has this image to go with it. It's going to be playable sometime this year. They're going to be trickling out bits of information at events like Comic-Con and PAX Prime. But as of right now, we just have this image. So there you go. Before we go, one last bit of housekeeping information. Have you seen this this animation, this glitch from Wolf Among Us? Because it's been making the rounds, and it's a little bit sexy. So there you go. Now you've seen it. As you might be able to tell, we are always constantly making changes here at Destructoid. We just did Tuesday Newsday for the first time, which comes the day after Farts and Crafts. Then we've got Dumb Idiot Ideas going up on Friday. We're going to have some other fun stuff for you. We're trying to do it so that some new, fun, exciting thing happens every day right here on youtube.com/dtoid. So if you haven't already, please subscribe and feel free to comment. Unless you're mean, I won't yell at you. I had to yell at one kid this morning. I hadn't had coffee yet. I'm sorry. I apologize if I was rude. Go watch yesterday's Farts and Crafts. I drew a pretty cool picture of Ash Ketchum with a gun and Evie with a tack vest on. And yeah, that's it. Go to Destructoid. Go read some articles. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm Max Scoville. I love doing these things. It's fun. I'm wearing a pink shirt. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Have a good evening. Take care. Goodbye. Check out the PAX coverage. That's right. Go do that. Goodbye. Fuck off, Bill! Good God! Damn! Go away! I'm sorry.